What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. In today's video, guys, I want to talk about the most account-changing epics in the entire game. And I'm going to pick a couple from each faction. I want to do it slightly different than I'm usually doing it. This is based on my own opinion, based on what epic champions I'm using, even in the endgame. So, not only champions that are viable in the endgame, but champions that can literally have a lifespan from the very early game all the way to the end game. Now, keep in mind, we have the new Faction Wars hard mode difficulty coming. I think it's going to come either this week, either next week. As I've mentioned the other day, we have a 2 weeks free gear removal, which is actually pretty crazy, and it's kind of like with a question mark in my opinion. Either way, leaving all that on the side, guys, these are the most game-changing epics in the entire game. Some of them are actually better than some legendaries. So, starting with the Bannerlord faction, I do want to kind of like mention one thing. I will pick a couple from each faction, right? Maybe on some specific factions, I might skip one because I think that there are much better ones in different factions. But as much as possible, I'm going to try to stick with 2 from each faction. So, from the Bannerlords, guys, we actually have quite a few strong epic champions. Archmage, Lady Annabelle, she's actually amazing. But my 2 picks from this faction is actually going to be Stag Knight, which in my opinion is an absolute freaking GOAT. Whenever we have tournaments for doing Fire Knight or God knows what other dungeon by using only epic champions, he's always part of my teams. If we're talking about Faction Wars, if we're talking about Curse Series, Secret Rooms, he's an absolute freaking monster. Decreased speed, you have the defense down, the decreased attack, the increased accuracy buff when you get resisted on an ally. So, when you're building Stag Knight, it really depends where you are in the game. Personally, I have him built on a Relentless set with a bit of damage. He can actually do a bit of damage, so don't sleep on that part because, hey, he's just going to speed up your runs. But he's a champion that's eternal, okay? Early game, mid game, late game, super end game, mega giga kraken end game, and he's still viable, super strong. Then, moving on to the next one, I'm gonna get Ursula the Mourner, guys. Now, on some factions, they might be the most obvious picks, right? But she is an absolutely amazing reviver. Truth be told, in the very end game, I'm not using her as much. But that's on my account because I'm a filthy degenerate whale as well, right? So if we're kind of like taking that part out of the equation, she's actually really, really good. You can use her in the Hydra Clan boss, you can use her in Faction Wars, you can use her in Arena, you can use her in Doom Tower, you can use her in dungeons, in tons of different places. And it all has to do with this amazing revive skill. Increased defense, you're getting strengthened, 75% HP, and 50% turn meter. Now, yes, this is on a 5-turn cooldown. She is an epic, but still a very, very good revive skill. You have the increased attack, the decreased attack, which is massive for the Hydra, really helpful. And if you pair her, for example, with a Doom Priest or something like that, it's going to work really, really well. Now, in terms of builds, you definitely want to take maybe a regen set on her. She's not really healing, right? So that's one of the main issues. You want to keep her alive to be able to revive the rest of the team. One thing that I hate is basically this speed aura that is only for the Doom Tower battles. But hey, I guess it can be helpful for a lot of people. I wish it would have been even a 19 or even a 15% in all battles. I would have been happier with that. Moving on to the next faction, guys. We have the High Elves right here as well. We have quite a few solid epic champions. Actually, we have a lot of them. We have Vergis, which is really good. Tyrell, pretty decent. Skuramis, which is amazing in my opinion for Curse Series. And tons of challenging content. He will be great for Faction Wars as well, for hard mode. Atlan the Gold, a pretty solid damage dealer. But my picks are going to be the following. Royal Guard, an absolute GOAT. He's a vanilla champion. I think I had a point where I had like 4 or 5 Royal Guards at level 60. Of course, since the empowerment and tons of new additions to the game in terms of enemy max HP champions and stuff, Hydra changes, I don't need so many, right? but it was a point where I had like literally 4 or 5 at level 60. You have the defense down, the take down the enemy max HP. Progression-wise, enemy max HP is actually massive because they're much easier to build than raw damage dealers. So if we're talking about the Spider Dungeon, even the Dragon, if we're talking about the Fire Knight, you can use him in all of these areas because he does have a quadruple hit with decreased speed and thermometer manipulation right here. Good for Hydra. He can be used in the Chimera as well, progression-wise, if you don't have all of the big boy champions, because he brings defense down, decreased speed. He brings the enemy max HP, which is actually really, really helpful. So Royal Guard is still a freaking GOAT, and he's been in the game since forever. Then, the next pick is actually going to be Nalder for me, guys. Such a freaking game-changing epic champion. Absolutely amazing. He is literally the Fire Knight Slayer, okay? Curse City in the actual dungeon. Very good for tons of different areas. If we're talking about faction wars, secret rooms, and as I've mentioned, Curse City, but not only versus the Fire Knight. A triple hit with a chance to freeze, a quadruple hit with decreased attack and decreased accuracy, an AoE attack with decreased speed, and he's actually healing himself. A very good passive where he's actually joining in the attack when an ally places a, a freeze debuff on the enemy. Really, really good. Now, I have 2 of them built. Both of them are built on kind of like damage sets. One of them in Relentless would be amazing, to be honest. I should definitely put one of them in Relentless. One of them I feel like is on a 6-piece Cruel set or something like that, just to actually deal some additional damage to help me with the waves and stuff like that. But really, really solid epic champion. So much better than tons and tons of legendaries that are meant to basically be freeze champions, right? So definitely do not sleep on Nalder, guys. Moving on to the Sacred Order faction. Tons of amazing epic champions in here as well. Phoenix is one of my favorite ones, but he's not going to be one of the picks. Mordecai, super solid. Of course, we have Anchorite, which is great. Cardinal, super OP for PvP. But my 2 picks from here... funny enough, Deacon Armstrong is not going to be on my list, but Godseeker Aniri is going to be on my list. I still think she's one of the best support epic champions in the entire game. Honestly, not many champions come close to her potential. You have this crazy revive skill with, which basically resets all of the skills of the ally that is getting revived, which is crazy, crazy good. This amazing passive, not only that will increase the healing, but it will basically... put a revive on that on whoever is about to die. Of course, on a 4-turn cooldown, massive healing, increases the duration of buffs, decreases the duration of buffs on enemies, more healing from the A1. She's probably one of the best champions to carry you in the Sand Devil's Necropolis. Great even in the Hydra. I haven't tried her in the Chimera, to be honest, but if you don't really have better options, she's definitely going to do an amazing job. Curse City, Faction Wars, she's going to be an absolute freaking monster. Now, while I do like Deacon and all the rest, I feel like one of the most eternal epic champions from this faction is going to be Inquisitor Shamael. If we're talking about early game, mid game, late game, super end game, you're gonna have some uses for this champion. Every time we get a new content where a boss has something to do with fear, like there's no better pick. This passive right here is so freaking unique that no legendaries, no mythical champions actually have it. So if we're talking about Hydra Clan Boss, if we're talking about event dungeons, because it seems like he worked fine in both of them, the Dark Fae, if we're talking even about Arena to counter champions like Taras and boost the thermometer on your lead, or the champion that is from the right faction to actually get the fear to proc from Taras, absolutely massive. Very good damage. He doesn't even require a Savage set. The more buffs you have on him, the more defense he's going to ignore. The only problem that I have with him, to be honest, because I do have a problem with him, he's just very slow in terms of animations. Especially when he freaking counterattacks. I feel like I can literally go and take a nap, come back, and he's still going to do his pew, 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 you know, half an hour later. But he's an amazing, amazing epic champion. Moving on to the Barbarian faction, guys. Here as well, we have quite a few decent ones. I don't necessarily think that we have a lot of super game-changing epic champions in this faction, my number one pick from this faction is always Farrakhan the Fat. He's just such a complete champion. You have the defense down, poisons, HP burn, ally attack, increased crit rate, increased crit damage, the passive that mitigates damage. Plus, he's really handsome as well, right? He's just such a complete epic champion. Like, honestly, so much better than some legendaries that do ally attack, right? Because he brings so many things to the table. Relentless is definitely a good way to build the champion. Useful versus the Fire Knight, useful versus the Dragon, useful versus Cursiri, useful even in Arena to do a blender comp if you want to, right? Clan Boss. Not that good in Hydra, to be honest, and Chimera, but hey, he's still very, very solid. Then the next pick from this faction is actually pretty hard because I do have quite a few other epic champions that are solid. Jamarsa, she's actually pretty nice. You can get her for free by creating referral accounts, which is, I would say, pretty grindy, but to get her is pretty easy. The part of getting the legendary is more grindy, and I still haven't done it. Skytouch Shaman, amazing champion. So even though Alika is one of my most favorite epic damage dealers in the entire game, I'm gonna pick Skytouch Shaman just because she can bring so much utility, so much healing, and overall she's just super good. Massive healing with the A1, you have the cleanse, the revive on that, the passive right here, which is good, but dumb at the same time because she can fear or put decreased speed on herself. If you start with an immunity set on her, that's how I would recommend you. Stone Skin, immunity, or whatever gives you that block debuffs, at least at the beginning of the fight. She's going to do an amazing job. Build her with high HP. She can be great versus tons of different bosses. Iron Twins, Fortress. She can be good even versus the Sand Devil's Necropolis. But of course, that passive can actually create you issues. Cursiri, Faction Wars, even in Arena, to be honest. There were a lot of strats with Skytouch Shaman for Arena, and they were being used by Krakens. But that was a while ago, right? Now, Alika, best epic damage dealer in the game. Changed my mind. You cannot. She's just absolutely amazing. Moving on to the Ogryn Tribes, guys. We do have some very solid epic champions in here, of course. My most favorite epic champion, the most account changing in my opinion, is going to be Ugo, because you can literally use this epic champion everywhere, okay? Progression wise, endgame for Hydra, super good. Chimera, tons of different areas. Now, some of you guys might disagree with it and say that no, Skratch, the most account changing epic champion is the Man-Eater, because if you get Man-Eaters, you can make unkillable teams for the clan boss. And in a way or another, I don't really disagree, but I still prefer Ugo over Man-Eater as being kind of like the top epic champion for this faction. Leech on the A1, block buffs, defense down, a bit of a cleanse, removes heal reduction, a bit of healing. The passive, which doesn't really come in play very often, but when it does, you got yourself a reviver in here. The second pick is definitely going to have to be Man-Eater, even though I think Skrank is great, Siege Hulk, Claude, I even like Rush, Voskar, I feel like they're pretty solid, Eurogrim. But Man-Eater, as I've just mentioned before, if you're lucky enough to pull a Man-Eater early game, it's gonna boost your account so much. And one of the main things that a lot of people kind of like miss about Man-Eater, he's not only good in the clan boss. If we're talking about early progression for the Fire Knight, you're gonna have this Thermimeter manipulation, right? If we're talking about some Doom Tower bosses, if we're talking about dungeon bosses, Spider, etc., manipulating the Thermimeter is gonna be massive. He's great versus the Ice Golem because of the unkillable and the block buffs, not only versus the clan boss, plus the decreased attack. So overall, really, really strong. If you're struggling even in Faction Wars, he's just a very, very solid epic champion. And if you're thinking about unkillable, block damage, legendary champions, not many are as useful. And that's mainly because he brings that immunity too, right? So that really puts him at the top of the list. Moving on to the next one, we have the Lizardmans right here, guys. My most favorite, and I think the most powerful epic champion from this faction, no questions asked, Venomage. Now, yes, Clan Boss, Cursiri, Doom Tower, Secret Rooms, Faction Wars, Dragon, even on the Ice Golem progression-wise and stuff. But where I think she is the most powerful is versus Amius, okay? The boss in the Curse City. You have the heal reduction, you have poisons, you have defense down, you have decreased attack, you have basically detonation on poisons or activation, you have the passive that reduces the damage, accuracy aura for all battles. Absolutely amazing. I have 2 Venom Mages at level 60, one of them built on a regeneration with some accuracy and resistance, and one of them built on a stun set for waves and other annoying places where I'm trying to use her. And many times when we have tournaments for the Dragon, for example, where you gotta use only epic champions in a team, I'm using both of them in there. Really, really solid epic champion. Then, the next pick from here, guys, is indeed going to be a bit more challenging, because I feel like Scatix is a great cleanser, Broadma is a good reviver, Quarkan a good support, Jareg as well a good support, but I still think that Aox, in my opinion, is just a better carry overall. Early game, mid game, even in the end game, he's very useful in specific content, right? You have a chance to place poisons, which is pretty low, but then you have the heal right here. Heals each ally by an extra 2.5 for each debuff on the target. Decrease attack on all enemies. Decrease crit rate. Thermimeter manipulation. The passive, which increases the duration of 2 random buffs on the attacker by 1 turn, 1 attack. Really good. Accuracy aura for Doom Towers. Not the most exciting thing, but still better than no aura, right? The stats are a bit lacking on Aox, to be honest, but overall is a pretty solid epic champion. Moving on to the next faction, we have the Skinwalkers, guys. Now, from the Skinwalkers, we actually have decent options. I don't necessarily think that they are the most powerful epic champions in the game, okay? I feel like Fane is great if you get a Fane early game. Even though she's really squishy, she's going to be massive. Same like Maniter in a way or another. Truth be told, yes, it's easier to replace damage dealers, but Fane not only good for the clan boss to bring you that defense down and weaken guys and decrease attack and poisons, etc. Good for the dragon, can be good for the Spider as well to apply the debuffs if you have some enemy max HP champions trying to take down the boss. Faction Wars, Curse City, Secret Rooms, Doom Tower bosses. You can definitely use Fane in a lot of places. So even though probably she's not getting as much love recently, we do have tons of different poisoners in the game and stuff now, but I still think she's really, really strong. Now for the next pick, as I've mentioned, we have the new champion as well, Yuzan, which is a great healer, to be honest. The thing is, I feel like we have lots and lots of healers in the game. I feel like Akemtum is definitely more unique. And having that crazy passive that enables you to absolutely destroy the spider on the hard mode dungeon on stage 10 or whatever stage on hard mode, I think is just so freaking crazy. Plus, you have a speed aura for all battles, AoE attack. Each hit has a chance to increase the duration of hacks. If the enemies are not under hacks, he will place hacks. A1 spreads debuffs. But this passive is just so freaking good. I actually have a couple of different videos on how you can just absolutely wreck the spider boss. I would strongly suggest you to check them out if you have Akemtum and you're struggling with that boss. Crazy, crazy good strat. Moving on to the next one, guys, we have the Orc faction. Now, right here, we have a lot of solid epic champions and a lot of trash ones. Doug the Pierce, I absolutely love the champion. Tuhak is pretty good. Liburga is really strong. The best is Stolf the Meme. I'm joking. He's actually trash. But Seer, I mean, there's no surprise, is the #1 wave nuker. I feel like nobody really understands how impactful she is on an account. Till you get her, you build her, and you just speed run all of the waves, right? You do need a reset, but it's not a necessity to have a Kaimar or a Yumeko or something like that. You can run her with a Renegade. It will be slightly slower on the second wave, but this Karma Burn is crazy. Not only at killing waves, but even in Arena, if you build her right. Of course, I'm not talking about the top high-end Arena, but if we're talking about progression in Arena, even in Tag Team Arena and stuff like that, she's absolutely amazing. Doom Tower waves, even in the Curse series, in some locations, Faction Wars, is all about this skill. The more buffs, the bigger the boom. You do want to build her on Savage because that will increase the damage as well. See her really, really strong. Now, the next pick from this faction, in my opinion, I feel like this champion is just such a game changer. I am using him in a lot of very hard stages in the Curse series. He's going to be great for Faction Wars. He's going to be a massive carry for whoever is going to get him. Tug War. You have increased defense on the ally with the lowest HP. AoE attack with increased speed and heal. You have a very nice revive right here. AoE on a 5-turn cooldown. Decreases the damage received by allies that have 50% HP or less. HP aura for all battles. He might not sound like a lot, but he is just so freaking impactful. Like, we have legendary champions that are not as good as him when we're talking about support / revive, right? So I feel like Tug War was just such a great addition to this faction. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Of course, Sandless Survivor, Vrask. We have good champions in this faction. Demon Spawns. The number one pick from here, in my opinion, is still going to be Allure. Massive progression-wise. Like, she's the queen of turn meter manipulation. A1 skill, 75% turn meter manipulation. Yes, not that great on the Spider Dungeon because the hits are random. Versus the Dark Fae, she's the queen. Versus the Fire Knight, she's the queen. Versus Faction War bosses, she's the queen. Versus Curse series stages where you need damage dealers, she's the queen because she's not only manipulating turn meter, she has this skill that actually ignores 50% of the target's defense. She brings a small version of defense down and a chance to sleep the enemies. I feel like Allure, she's a really, really strong champion. And I feel like she's aging fine as the wine, okay? Like, to be honest, after all this time, I'm still using Allure. Yes, she's not part of my Fire Knight team on hard mode because turn meter manipulation doesn't work in there. But progression-wise, she's solid. And she is part of my Dark Fate team. And she's super unique, man. Like, honestly, she puts most of the turn meter manipulation champions to shame. If excluding Armans, okay? Because he's a bit of a next level sort of a dude. Then, I feel like a lot of people will lean to go for Magnar, okay? I think Magnar is crazy good as a damage dealer. But in my opinion, I feel like the damage dealers are probably the easiest thing to replace. Because we have so many in the game. Now, if we're only talking about specific content, faction wars content, etc., then Magnar is the GOAT, okay? Like, this skill, a double hit if you don't have HP burn. Basically, you want to run him without an HP burn champion to really get the most out of him. You can use him in Hydra, not necessarily the craziest damage or anything like that, but on normal hard difficulty while you're progressing is going to be super, super good. Curse series, Doom Tower, really, really strong champion. But personally, just because he is more unique and I feel like I could replace Magnar, but it's much harder to drop Akot the Seared out of a team, I'm going to go with him, okay? And I'm going to explain you in a second why. Now, this is a Doom Tower champion. You have a chance to put decreased crit rate, which is nice versus some bosses. AoE attack with a chance to put HP burn. And the chance of placing the debuff increases by 20 for each alive enemy. The more enemies you have, the higher the chance to apply the HP burn. What I like is this skill right here. When they have that HP burn, you're going to increase the cooldown of all of the skills by 2 turns. It's just so freaking powerful for the Curse series in Tranos, guys. The thing is, you're not going to get this champion super early, okay? So I understand if some of you will be like, well, it's going to take me ages to get this champion. It will take you a long time. But then, at least you know that this champion is going to be really, really strong even in the end game, right? So I think he's definitely an amazing champion, especially because of that A3 skill. Moving on to the next one, we have the Undead Hordes. Now, here, once again, we're going to have a bit of a back and forward, to be honest. Seeker, I mean, when you get Seeker, Clan Boss is just getting destroyed. You don't even need to make an unkillable team. You can build different teams that go on a 2-to-1 ratio. He's just so freaking unique with this skill. on a 3-turn cooldown, 30% turn meter, and extra turn. Basically on a 2-turn cooldown. Really good. You have the provoke right here, the passive that gives you the increased defense when he gets crit hits, defense aura for arena battles. As I was mentioning before, Skytouch Shaman and strats for arena. You can make go second teams with Seeker, Skytouch Shaman. To be honest, they're not as effective as they used to be back in the day when we used to run them a couple of years ago or so, maybe even more. Time is just flying. But Seeker, super powerful. Good for arena as a turn meter booster. Good for tons of different areas, not only clan boss. Now, the next one, a lot of you guys most likely will go for Vogot, right? I feel like, yeah, Vogot is absolutely great. Progression-wise, mid-game, in some cases in the end game, if we're talking about Doom Tower bosses and stuff, I think he's definitely really, really good. Apologize for all of these sounds, guys. My Telegram is just going crazy right here. He has this amazing passive that heals, basically, right? So I think he definitely deserves the spot as being one of the most powerful ones. But personally, I think the Husk is actually higher on the list. But that is for my account. As I've mentioned, I know for a lot of you guys, it will be completely different, okay? So why do I like Husk so much? You have the provoke on the A1, which is great for Hydra. Enemy max HP skill with a stun. So if we're talking about the Dragon Dungeon, if we're talking about even Fire Knight, not only that you're going to deal damage versus bosses, enemy max HP, but you're going to have that stun control, okay? He's so impactful in the Curse City, guys, on Synthranos because of the stun. Now, I do have a couple of different builds. For Hydra, I would build him on Relentless, to be honest, just because I have higher chances to land the provoke. I can use the A2 more often. I'm not really using the A3 as much in Hydra because I just kind of like want to make sure I'm provoking, right? But this can deal decent damage too. What I do like about him is the A1 and the A2, and I think he's really, really good. So I have one on an Affinity Breaker set, and that's mainly for the Curse City. Faction Wars, really good on waves as well, and I feel like he's going to be even better on the hard difficulty where people will struggle. That stun is going to be a massive, massive clutch. Moving on to the Dark Elves. Right here we have decent epic champions. Dirandil, amazing damage dealer, but I'm not going to put him on the list, guys. Instead, I'm going to go with Darkale, a champion that you're getting from the Doom Tower as well. Pretty good stats. I have mine built on regeneration with some accuracy, a bit of resistance. Triple hitter with a chance to activate poisons and HP burn. AoE attack with decreased attack. Each critical hit also has a chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn. Then, a chance to place 3 poisons and a poison sensitivity on a target for 2 turns. You have this solid passive too. Like, progression-wise, he's massive, okay? Now, by the time you get him, probably you're kind of like past that progression stage. He's still good to farm the Ice Golem, good to go in the Dragon Dungeon. Yes, the Ice Golem on hard mode, it changed. Poisons are not as effective, but he's still really, really useful for a lot of content. So I think Darkale definitely deserves the spot. Then, Madame series, even though I'm not really using her in Arena anymore, I feel like a lot of you guys are still using her in Arena. She's just too good not to. Defense down, decrease attack, strips the buffs, has a chance to steal buffs, puts immunity, has a chance to put fear, and of course fear on the A1, and of course a shield and fear with the passive. Really, really strong. She's been one of the most powerful epic champions for PvP in the game for probably, I feel like for a couple of years, she was at the top. One of the main issues with her in defense, the presets were not there at the beginning, right? So she always used to open with the A2. But Madame series, even today, she's just so freaking powerful. Not only for Arena, guys. Like, we're talking about just general content, PvE, right? Waves and all the stuff where you need to either strip buffs or put the defense down, the decrease attack. The thing is, this is on a 4-turn cooldown, so Stagnite in a way or another is better because he's on a 3-turn cooldown, but he has his own weaknesses as well, and that is not being Void Affinity. So Madame series definitely deserves the spot. Now, I am struggling on this faction, guys. The Night Revenants, we have too many. Too many that are actually really damn freaking good from here. Miscreated Monster, still really strong. I am using him. Kursiri, I'm not using him in the faction wars at the moment, but who knows, I might be using him once the hard mode difficulty comes out. We have Sinesha, we have Skullcrown, Rector Dread, we have Doom Priest, Whisper, Sabita, which is amazing, Malekith, so many good ones, okay? So many good ones. But, I'm going to go, of course, with Doom Priest. Doom Priest is just so freaking good and such a simple champion. Usually, whenever we get new content, she always basically has value surge. She just gets better and better because she's good in pretty much all of the content. No perfect Veil champions for the Hydra. Don't worry, get Doom Priest in with a passive. She's gonna get rid of the fear. If you're going versus pretty much any other content where they're landing debuffs on you, she can actually support the team. She brings you the increased attack. You want to build her on Relentless. The more turns she takes, the more debuffs she cleanses. As simple as that. Very good in pretty much all of the content, guys. Then, the next one on my list, even though, as I've mentioned, Rector Dretch is an amazing reviver and healer, Sabita, Malekith, they're all amazing, I'm gonna go with Whisper. Her damage is... like, I know I said damage dealers are easy to replace, but she's one of those damage dealers that is just not easy to replace, okay? The passive has a chance to grant an extra turn whenever the champion lands a critical hit, but increases the damage inflicted on bosses by 20%. I'm actually gonna have a new video coming on her God mode, okay? And I'm gonna try her in the Chimera and tons of different areas with a crazy build just to see how crazy she can actually be. Pretty good base stats. I love that she's Void Affinity. Attack aura for dungeons, which, let's be honest, not the best thing. Double hit right here, grants an extra turn if the enemy is under defense, down, and weaken. Attacks an enemy, places an increased attack and an increased crit rate on the champion. If she attacks somebody that has a higher max HP, and will ignore defense if the target is under weaken. And she has a chance to place weaken with the A1. But she deals crazy damage, guys. Like, I mean, she literally puts mythical champions to shame when we're talking about damage. Then, moving on to the Dwarf faction. Yes, Geomancer, we all know it. He is the freaking GOAT. Super powerful for the Sand Devil. For the Iron Twins, sorry. He's probably the best champion for that boss. If we're talking about some of the Doom Tower bosses, really good in there as well. It's all about this freaking passive. It's just so damn crazy. And I'm still surprised after all this time that we don't have a legendary or a mythical version of Geomancer, right? I always thought that they will be bringing one at some point. It's never too late, but still surprised it did not happen. Great for Hydra if you manual. On auto, he's just going to place the HP burn all over the place. He's going to be random. And he's good in the Hydra when you have a lot of heads in the rotation to start with, like the Head of Rat, the Head of Blight, the Head of Suffering. You need heads that do AoE attacks to really proc this passive. Great versus the Spider Dungeon. There's some nice threats that you can use. Decrease accuracy on the A1. Steals buffs, which is really good. The Thermimeter manipulation. Overall, yeah, he is a freaking GOAT. Now, I actually have a bit of a dilemma here. Everybody loves Demira. Once again, same like Maneater, you get one, you're changing your account. Great, even for the Chimera, great for a lot of content because she gives you the block damage, massive healing from this champion, increases the duration of buffs. This is on a 3-turn cooldown, a bit of a shield with A1. But personally, I just love Morak so freaking much that I cannot... you know what? We're going to put Demita and Morag on the list because the Shadow Kings don't really have that many good epic champions anyway. But Morag is crazy, okay? Ally attack. Extra turn if you kill somebody. Like, I'm using her in the Curse City versus so many different stages, guys, in Sintranos. If we're talking about Fire Knight, if we're talking about the Marichka and Double Taras and all of those crazy stages where you need epic champions because you cannot do it with legendaries. She is just insane. Very good damage. I absolutely love Morag. And I'll be honest, I really underestimated this champion when they released her. Because, I mean, she did not sound that impressive, but she can really smack and bring tons of utility next to the damage. But yeah, the Meta, Geomancer, and Morak from here. Gala Longbraids is great. Fodbor is actually great. I like him a lot. Melga, decent Reviver. But moving on to the Shadowkin faction. Hopefully I haven't missed any factions, guys. If I did, let me know in the comments down below. So, we have so many epic champions in here. Oboro, she was super powerful for Hydra. The thing is, they changed Hydra so much that I'm not a fan of Oboro in Hydra anymore. Not as I used to. Yeah, Gambo, great for Arena. Great to do damage in Faction Wars. Same with Nogorio, etc. But I feel like the only solid epic champion from this faction, like super solid epic champion from this faction that can be called an account-changing epic champion, is Toragi the Frog. Now, progression-wise, early game, mid-game, end game, really, really good. Decrease attack, you have a chance to provoke, increases the chance by 5 for each debuff on the enemy team. Shield, ally protection, reflect damage, healing, chances to land poisons with a passive. Like, such an effective champion. Clan boss, dungeons, faction wars if you need that extra support, ally protection, increase and shield and stuff. Curse series, secret rooms, Doom Tower bosses. Like, you freaking name it, okay? That's it with this faction. Sylvan Watcher. Right here we have actually a few of them. So I want to start with Creodon the Blue. Very good crowd control. Very good versus the Fire Knight. Good for faction wars. He's going to be even better once the hard difficulty comes out. Good for waves in dungeons. Good for waves in Doom Tower. Good for Curse series. Fire Knight, triple hitter, a chance to land freeze. AoE double hitter, chances to land freeze. Increase speed and increase sturm meter. The passive will fill the champion's sturm meter for each freeze he lands. Really good, simple kit. He does the job. Very solid epic champion. Then, I feel like we have quite a few of them that I'm going to have to mention from here because I won't be feeling good if not. Mistriders Deity, I have 2 of them at 60. They're absolutely smashing it. Probably the best damage dealer for this faction in terms of epics. The chance to gain extra turn is a massive clutch. Defense down, AoE attack grants an extra turn if the defense is placed on all of the enemies. Increase attack, increase accuracy, extra turn, really good. Accuracy aura for all battles. I love Mistriders Deity. Ruela, really good. Dark Fae, Fire Knight, tons of different content. Triple hitter, a chance to steal turn meter. Defense down, weaken, decrease speed, amazing in the clan boss. Okay, you can get turn meter, increase crit rate with the A3. You can make some 2-to-1, 3-to-1 ratio teams for clan boss with Ruela and bring all of these debuffs. As I've mentioned, Dark Fate, tons of Doom Tower bosses, Curse series, etc. And White Dryad Nia, really powerful. AoE decrease speed, great for the Hydra. This skill is really good. You can run it even in the Spider if you're trying to do some crazy strats. I've done that in a video. Check that out as well. I used to have two of them at 60. I still have 2 of them at 60 actually, but I'm not really using them in Hydra anymore because I've changed my teams around since I got Yumeko and stuff. But really good because of that. And you have Strengthen, Ally Protection, Extra Healing. These are the most account-changing epic champions in Raid Shadow Legends. Now, if you guys think that I've missed any of them, please let me know in the comments down below. And let me know if you agree or disagree. Do you think we have other epic champions that are much better than the ones I've just named? And honestly, I'm a filthy degenerate Kraken, whale, and I am using all of these epic champions that I've mentioned, even though my account looks like this, okay? So, that's understatement what I'm saying, account-changing epic champion, because they are indeed. As usual, hopefully you enjoyed the video, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, do me a solid and drop a comment, help with that YouTube algorithm, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.